Hi there, Cosm family. My name is Jehlial, and we have the moon going through Aries, high energy impulse for taking action. And today, May 23rd, it made a contact with Venus. That at the same time is creating a trine with Mars and Leo. So it is like in ascension, this desire of creation, of bring beauty, also bringing beauty to a creation, a space, to ourselves. Venus is very related with that. And of course, it could emerge the desire of connection, but it is important to observe, especially when we are talking about deep connections, not only romantic ones, if we are doing so from a place of wanting to share, or from emotional needs that are not resolved, because it is not Mars nor Venus the one that is operating. There is the moon, our emotional core, and the unconscious aspects that we could be managing. And it is part of relationships. I mean, it is part from give and receive, that the other can contribute with those emotional needs. um, with the exception that we are talking about a society, or a circumstantial exchange for a project. And all the other relationships, are going to be involved with our emotions, but no one outside can actually attend our inner needs in the level and with the disponibility. I don't know if I'm inventing that word. With the capacity that we have, because that is more a task from for a father or a mother when we were kids, and it is part of growing to learn to do so for ourselves. So tomorrow it is going to be perfected, the conjunction between Mercury and Uranus in Taurus. The moon is going to enter Taurus too. And this is something that we have been feeling and that will continue on the weekend. Beyond unexpected news, this transit could involve radical cuts in the communication, for example, with other person, or in technology, could be linked with those things. Changes that are informed to us, or that we are informing, that could be sudden. What is moved are situations where the energy could be stagnated, related to resources, the generation of resources, and things that represent value. A relationship could be something that represents value for us, but also, things that we associate with stability. So, if they were presented manifestations in the physical body, if they are presenting, it is also a moment to process in a mental level, what could origin that, to make decisions. Because if they are sudden, probably there is energy that is not circulating, among other factors. And if something ends from one moment to another, truly it is not from one moment to another. Probably there were situations that were showing that things weren't working out. So many times this is like the false stability that actually wasn't evolutionary. And this could be linked, with those kind of changes that cosmos presents, so we can end up moving to the next phase of our path. We have to remember that we are coming from the activation, the Uranian activation with the sun. So this transit could be also this kind of conclusion, a moment where we understand in another level what we have transited these days, and also a transit where we are connecting with practical solutions for the path. But we have to focus on that to open the field to that information. So this last thing, it is very, very accompanied by the trine with the Sun in Gemini and Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. This is a great transit to look for answers that are not conventional. to question ourselves what we think and what we believe we know, to go to the root of circumstances that we want to transform. If there are dynamics in our life that we truly want to change, this transit is wonderful to open to see which is our participation in those experiences, beyond what we cannot control. Because if there is something that we have to transit because we cannot force that thing to be other way, it is also a transit to ask ourselves how we can be in more symphony with ourselves. What kind of thoughts or actions we can make differently, we can take differently, to feel more aligned with our authenticity. That is something that we can always connect in the here and now, in the present moment. And this trine is one of the principal aspects of the new moon in Gemini that opens the portal for the next 6 months with the entrance of Saturn in Aries. This is a big deal. So this is something that we are all feeling, no matter if that is activating, a celestial body in our natal chart. We are all feeling it. Once a planet moves into a new sign, that is something that has an effect on us. So we will see what kind of manifestations this could have in the collective and individually. But to remind you a little bit of what I said in the video of Saturn in Aries, this involves this maturity in our individualization, in the way that we are managing our energy from our identity and the desires that we have, the areas in which we need to where we need to learn to be more independent, and also the instances where our impulsivity is not emerging from an intention that impacts in a positive way our environment nor ourselves, because there are circumstances in which reacting in a quick and certain way, it is very useful. If there is this position to assume responsibilities, everything is okay with Saturn. I mean, with responsibility, I am talking about recognizing what is being manifested on the outside as a way to understand what we need to correct, mature. I don't know if mature the expression, grow, sustain with determination, and also putting boundaries, limiting what we don't have to sustain, because not everything is our responsibility. And because many times it is a form of codependency, to be in charge of something that is not corresponding to us unconsciously, that could respond to a programming in which we are feel seen, like we have a place in the world, because we are operating that way, because that is a conditioning that was acquired, that was learned. And to be and to develop maturity is to limit that, to put a boundary on that. So in the disposition to learn about everything that we could go through, whatever thing that can occur responds to a solid step of growth in our path. So I'm going to end this video here. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next video. Ciao, ciao.